Hello and welcome to Assessment for Online Learning, going beyond multiple choice. And we are doing this online because we're learning to assess more effectively online. It's interesting, there's this huge influx of online courses being offered and in both high schools and higher education programs, as you are well aware. Whole colleges that are building their programs on this. But I will say this, sometimes we have the cart ahead of the horse, right? And in the area of online education, I really feel like we have ventured into this pioneering area and then tried to decide how to do it well. So hopefully in this course, I'm going to do what I can do to do it well for you, to model that, and hopefully we'll learn from each other. That's why I love teaching these online classes. I learn tricks from you, I learn new tools, I learn ways of doing things, and so this is a partnership we're entering in on. I'm Nicole Schrock, and I'm going to be, let's say, your tour guide, but even that makes it seem like I should be carrying like a big umbrella and knowing all my directions all the time, right? But in all reality, we are learning together. My background in online education began, much like I expressed, at a school setting where I was given very little training other than the technology training, and then I was thrown into a classroom of well over 100 students, sometimes upwards towards 2 or 250, and I had to monitor their learning, and we all know how effective that is. We crammed a traditional course into a left nav bar, and we thought that was education. And then I got really exciting, and I started using things like videos and webcams, and that was really innovative, right? And those things are innovative, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to do online education well and all of its parts and counterparts, we need to make sure we have the pedagogy to back what we're doing and make sure that we're really using this platform to the best of our abilities. So we're going to think outside of the box and how online and blended learning can look. My education experience prior to, you can read about this more, but just to kind of give you a little background, prior to coming to the online world about 7 years ago, I was in a traditional brick and mortar school. And by traditional, I mean, I remember when they installed the phone in my room. Partly because we were a rural district, we didn't have all the bells and whistles. I got up to 2 computers in my room because I did all the publications. And some of you are going, you remember those days. What I'm noticing now, having been in wholly online courses and wholly brick and mortar courses, that they have a lot of things that if they blend, we can find a really neat balance. So whether you're teaching brick and mortar and trying to move towards a blend, if you're online and want to maybe bring in some of the aspects and community that we see in face-to-face classes, online and blended learning offers lots of opportunities for those things. And again, that having that theory and put into practice is what we're looking for. So I want to give you a little bit of a tour of the course here. I will try to create a little bit of an introduction video every week like this, just to kind of have that personal touch, have that video that you can refer to kind of fill in the blanks, or maybe smooth over any hiccups you see in the material. And I will say that the last time I taught this course was a full year ago, so I'm feeling a little bit like, oh, this is new again, right? Everything's new again. I feel like Dory the Fish and Nemo. Anyway, the other thing about it was taught as a full semester class, and so if you see something that's not adding up editing wise that I've put in there, like if I say week 3 and we're on week 2 or something, feel free to let me know that. I'm trying to catch those things, but as you know, self-editing sometimes isn't the best way to go about it. The announcements where you're at right now, I'll always have the video announcement there. We've got the course overview. Some of these items will be updated by the time you get in today, or as you're listening to this. But if you're new to Blackboard, new to online learning, definitely want to look at that. It's fairly intuitive. I think Blackboard is maybe like more of a Cadillac model of learning management systems from what I've seen. If you're taking this course in sequence and you've already taken the intro course, I actually teach with Michelle Miranda in another online setting. We're team teachers, so you might notice some of our ideas overlap a little bit. We get inspired by one another. It's always good to have that learning community. And I really encourage you, if you are going into either blended or online learning, that you find such a community, whether it's using this course as your community for this semester or even beyond that, finding other people to collaborate with and be encouraged by, because sometimes it can feel a little bit isolated. And those pioneers didn't go off one by one generally, right? They're going into unnamed territory. They went out in pairs. It wasn't just Lewis, it was Lewis and Clark. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we have the course description and a lot of files that you'll need here. I just wanted to kind of show you that that was there, some grading criteria and rubrics, everything you never wanted to know, all the detail stuff, right? Okay, and then we have and you'll see some of the information I just told you overlapped in the video space here. Sorry about the overlap. Can't help myself, I guess. What we really need to get into here are the learning units, and so we can look at what's going on for the next 2 weeks. Because we have Labor Day in there, we're going to kind of lump these 2 weeks together as one unit. And most of what we're looking at, first of all, is going to be the let me go to the student view here. I have an edit mode right now, so it will look more like what you're looking for. In the learning units, you'll find that they should be linked. Again, if links don't work, please let me know. You know how online things can be, sometimes persnickety. What I've tried to do is kind of outline what's going on. The course, underneath course overview, there is a course calendar. Let me flip back to that just a second. I'm sorry, I'm all over the map. Okay, course calendar, here we go. This little guy here is pretty important. He is where everything is at. So this is, your outcomes, the readings, activities. All right, so these are going to be, this is like your course map. And then if we go back to where it is in the class, then there's links to actually where you can find those items. So after you look at your syllabus, you want to go to the learning units. I got ahead of myself, and I get so excited at the beginning of the year. Woo! Then there's a breakdown of the activities. So there's the Getting Started activity. The My Desk, My Window activity came from a book called The Golden Climate. You may have read parts of that in the intro class if you took it. And she may have had you do something like that as well. Sorry for the redundancy, but it's just a great get to know you activity. Kind of see where we're at with as we venture out together. I really want you to sense that we are in this together and that we have a lot of community between us, and part of that is sharing. A lot of us are in this course because of the flexibility factor. I know I am. If you can't hear it in the background, I think I've got somewhere about 5 boys in my house right now. Not all of them are mine. They range in age between 8 and 14, and so every day is an adventure. It's sort of a loud one, and this flexibility part of online education has been a great thing for me. But we also know that flexibility can't be the only thing, because if something's too flexible, sometimes it becomes flimsy, right? So we want to definitely give you flexibility in this course, and we want to be really realistic with things. So if you're falling behind and you're feeling like you're drowning, please reach out and know that we all have those moments. I have been drowning all day today, I'll be honest. Okay. So the get to know you part, flexibility part. VoiceThread is a tool we're going to play around with. It's not a tool I've used a ton, but I've thrown it out in a couple different contexts and it has been well received. If you used it in the intro class, great. You're an old pro at it. We'll use it a couple times, not overdo it, but I want to look at it in light of assessment, since that's our theme. So that's this week. I don't want to branch off too far ahead, but since it is kind of a short week next week, I'm going to go ahead and show you what next week looks like as well. Right? Oh, you know what? Let me return to my teacher view. Apparently I need to let you be able to see that second unit. I must have had it blocked for some reason. Hopefully this is demonstrating to you how, everybody has their technology days. I'm having one for sure. Okay. this is our first real content unit, week 1, and it is a little bit heavy, so that's part of the reason I wanted to show you right now. This is a full semester class crammed into 7 weeks, so keep that in mind. If the pacing is too insane, please let me know. We have the activities, a discussion board, and whenever there's a discussion board, there's a requirement to respond. Blog, same thing, requirement to respond, and then our wiki. And the wiki is going to be a portfolio. It's going to be a assessment portfolio, and I want you to make it as practical for you as you possibly can. So please don't feel like you have to fit into a mold that I'm trying to pre-create. I want this to be for you in the context for which you are teaching. If you'll notice, everything's due on Sunday by midnight, and I did that on purpose. I have some students say, well, you can't do that because then people don't post until later. Can we all have a virtual handshake and say that as far as it depends upon us, we will try to get our initial discussion board and blog posts done by, let's say, Wednesday. That's going to be our goal every week, to give people enough time to give feedback by Sunday night. I don't like setting up 2 sets of deadlines. First of all, I don't honestly like managing them, but second of all, we've all got those tough weeks. Please know, if you are a Saturday at midnight type poster, you're probably not going to get the replies, and that's part of the rich experience of the online classroom, in my opinion, is having time to really read people's ideas and take the time to respond to them thoughtfully in a meaningful way. So just encourage you to make that in your head kind of a soft goal, soft deadline of Wednesday for discussion board and blog, but also know that realistically it may slip to Thursday, Friday, even Saturday sometimes. The wiki can be your last thing every week, and I encourage it to be, because it's always going to be the kind of culminative type of thing. We're going to kind of start, it goes kind of from discussion board is a little bit more like just what it sounds like. It's going to be a discussion of the topic. The blog starts blending theory and practice, and the wiki emphasizes putting something into practice, generally. Okay, and then here's all the links you should need to know. Everything should connect here. This is kind of everything you never wanted to know, or everything in one-stop shopping. There we go. And it lines up with that course calendar. Along the way, I may be adding a few resources, but for right now, we're going to start with just what's in the classroom, and I don't want to add too much because I know this is it's a tight timeline and turnaround here. Okay, take a deep breath. Let's all strive to enjoy this class in the midst of the chaos of fall and new things starting, and really challenge you to think about assessment in a new way for this course. Not just because the context and framework is different by being online, but because we all want to be best practitioners, not best practicers, but we want to be experts at our practice, not just to be astute, but to really be effective with our students, to really draw out of them what we know they're capable of, and to be able to give them the type of assessment opportunities and feedback opportunities that make them learners and engage them further in their learning. I know this is idealism speaking, but I'm really excited about some of the things we're going to learn in this course. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to working with you and hearing more about your expertise, your background, and what's the view from your desk as we approach this first discussion board activity.